As well as
So you'll start off.
obviously, obviously what which are
And good afternoon. Welcome to Straight Talk. This is Catherine Tyson, your host, and this is your Drive at 5 show. Good afternoon. This is Monday, beautiful Monday in the tropics. It's Medical Mondays brought to you by Health City. And you know, we always have the good people from Health City on Mondays talking to you, bringing good tidings of peace, joy, love, everything, especially when we have Shamari Scotch in the studio.
Is my microphone hot?
I don't know.
Is it? Oh, there we go.
Does it feel? Just have to turn it up.
There's a red button or something that tells me I'm on or not.
You're good. You're good.
I have to chime in every now and
You're
then.
too good at everything.
I want to help people. Right? That's
Thank
my
you.
thing in life.
Thank
right?
you, and you make life easier. But I've been advised now since we are in our new spot.
You see the new. That's why I had to check because it's looking spiffy. I like it.
You like it?
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
there's parking.
That's the best part. That's the best part. Trust me, when people start coming, they look frustrated by the time they get in here.
Right?
I know.
I
yeah.
was so pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
That there were many parking spots.
It's really nice.
You know, I even had a security guard.
Look at that. Escort you in.
Escort me.
Funny enough, I was worried about you because I said if you try slip in here late now.
Well, I heard about 3 levels and I heard about security guards. So,
Okay.
So we were extra early. We were here at 4:30.
Oh no, where were you?
We walked all the way back and
okay.
and looked for two young ladies that were
okay.
scared.
Okay.
When we popped up and we were like, "Hey, we're here," and they were like, "What?" And
right.
Like, the 92.7. They were like, "Oh, that's next door."
Oh, because I was worried
so
that you were so
scared.
early.
I was scared to open the next door.
They were scared, and then you were scared.
Right. So we went to the front.
Scared.
So we went to the front and sat and waited. You know. So.
Let me tell you, when you tune into Straight Talk on Medical Mondays with Shamari Scott, you never know what you're going to encounter. So today it was just all about the scared
That's
story.
how life is, right?
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure having you here. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in this afternoon. I am Catherine Tyson, your host, and what we're talking about is our new location, which is the Georgetown Financial Center. If you didn't know, now you know. Glory, glory. No, that's Kirk Franklin. But anyway, okay.
And that's actually what we're talking about for Health City as well.
Oh, wow. Look at
new
that.
location, Kamana Bay.
Let's introduce who else we have, though.
No, man.
Just me and you?
So,
okay, so Dr. Vivek?
Yes.
All
Dr.
right.
Vivek here.
Okay.
Thank you, Catherine, for the warm welcome.
Okay, you're welcome, and thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now, please, because you know, like I said, I'm paper free today. Not not by any. I'm trying to save the world. There's no printer.
Being green.
There's no printer.
So you purposely ensure there's no printer.
Listen.
To exercise those memory glands.
I still would have had information at this point. So, Dr. Vivek, or maybe Shamari, you can tell us, what does Dr. Vivek do, what you're here to talk about this afternoon?
Right. So we're here to talk about Health City at Kamana Bay, our clinic, and as we say, we're within your reach. And I think I had spoken previously on this program about the fact that after being here for 7 years, we listen to our patients. And our patients consistently told us, for every single appointment that I have to drive all the way up to East End, right? We heard that over and over and over. So we know even if from a diagnostics perspective or follow-up perspective, if there are 3 or 4 or 5 follow-ups that you may need, maybe only 2 or 3 actually need for you to travel to East End based on the level of diagnostics we have there.
Okay.
You can actually come and see a doctor without having to travel that distance. 70% of the population live in Georgetown and West Bay, even though the Bobtown area is the largest growing area. Still 70% of the population still live in Georgetown and West Bay. And when you look at when people are working during working hours, I would think it's way over 90% in regards to those that will be in this area. So when you need to see a doctor quickly enough, or you really only have 30 or 45 minutes to come in for an appointment and to get back to work, this is us at Health City, fulfilling our commitment to listen to our patients and to give you the convenience of Health City being right here in town at Kamana Bay. And the great thing is, another thing we always hear is, everything in K9 closes at 5 p.m. So Monday through Friday, we are open from 11 till 7 at the Kamana Bay location. So you can also schedule to come in after hours to be able to see our great physicians, as well as on Saturday. Your regular appointments can happen between 11 and 7 on Saturday. And then also on Sunday, we're open from 12 to 4.
Wow.
So
Okay.
this is to make sure that it's as convenient as possible, extended hours during the weekday. And then on Saturday, practically all day, we're there, as well as for a 4-hour block on Sunday as well.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we still have our East End operations. On a Saturday, we're rotating a physician just because obviously the population is a lot smaller in the BRAC to also be within their reach in the BRAC so that persons who are waking up, especially more mature persons, early in the morning to catch the flight, to come to Grand, to drive all the way up to East End, to be able to then go through their doctor's appointment and or their follow-ups, to then have to drive and fight traffic to get back to the airport, to catch that plane, all of the stress that goes along with that. We wanted to, once again, if you needed to come 5 times, but you really only needed to be present in East End for 2 of those 5, then we'll come to you for the other 3, and you can come to us for the 1 or 2 times you really have to come see us in East End campus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So every time you said something, I just kept thinking. You said at one point, I think you said physician. The physician is here, and I just kept thinking of the song, "The Great Physician." You know the
Oh, which
song,
one
"The
is
Great Physician Now Is Here." It's
You said
it's
Ahsoka song?
from a hymnal.
Oh.
Listen,
I,
you know.
well, the way you
a church
the way
girl.
you were rhyming it sounded like
No, man.
like Sherwin type of.
Soca song.
I mean, I was getting ready for the chorus.
No, come on.
Because they
no,
have-
the great
you know-
physician now is here.
Okay. Because you have Night Doctor too, but that
He
isn't
sounded
that
nice.
isn't a hymn, right? That's
Okay, all right. But anyway, the great physician is here.
Oh,
The
good.
consultant neurologist. I looked you up just now.
Okay.
Consultant neurologist, and I should remember these things, right? And I was talking to you about my hip. Was I talking about my hip when you were telling, or
No.
somebody I was talking to? They told me I need to go to an orthopedic. Like, don't come near me, Catherine.
See?
Yeah.
I think it's you.
No,
They're
we,
like,
all, we
no.
all look the same.
They're
so-
like, oh no, that's not what I mean. That is not what I
See?
mean.
You see?
Good joke, Dr. Vivek. That was a good
You're bringing
joke.
up hymns that sound like soca songs, so we get you back.
That's so funny. That is so funny. But no, whoever it was that was in the
Right.
studio, we were talking. I think he also did neurology at the clinic. We were talking to somebody, and it seemed, I was talking about my hip, and I had this issue. She says, "No, I think it sounds as if you might need to go, see orthopedics or something."
Yeah.
But I don't know. It sometimes it's numb, so I think that
Yeah,
sounds
that's
like
where you come to us.
neurologist.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're trying to send me to other people. Like, you know what? I'm going to talk to this man tomorrow. So here you go. But definitely, now, what's Dr. Vivek? What is your role in all of this then, in terms of within your reach?
Yeah, so as a neurologist, we basically go through. Yeah, so we basically go through the whole of the nervous system, which is to simplify, it's the brain and its connection, the brain, the spinal cord, and its connection to all the parts of the body. The
Right.
brain is the final center. So all the diseases, like when it comes to brain, the strokes, the multiple sclerosis, the demyelinating diseases, the tumors, then in coming to the spinal cord, again, the demyelinating diseases, then the neuropathies, which is the connection, the wires which comes from the spinal cord to the muscles, and then the diseases related to the muscles. So these are the disorders which we basically deal with. And it's a challenge, especially our field, with all the progress which is happening. In fact, today is one of the momentous occasion where actually for the Alzheimer's, in the last 20 years, no new drug had come over. But just now the FDA has approved, as of today, one new molecule, which is supposed to be a game changer It is an expensive one, Edukinumab, and it's an expensive one, but it's going to come into the market. That's what I understand. So it's one of the big days in neurology.
Okay. And so how long have you been here with us?
For the time being, for the last 3 months, I've been here.
Okay.
But before this, in 2016, I came here. We set up the department, and then I had to go back because of family commitments. Then Dr. Romnesh D'Souza, he's quite popular in the island, and that's how he took over.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
been here doing a terrific job from then.
Okay. And you've been working in India then,
Yes.
in a neuro rehab center?
In a neuro rehab and the Department of Neurology per se. So I was taking care of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so who's doing that now?
Back in India,
Yeah.
we have other neurologists who have taken over that part of it. And I've come here to help out because of these new centers, and we are expanding. So they needed the help and the experience. So that's how I'm here.
Okay. All right. And so you're kind of back with us then?
Yes, I'm back.
Yes. Okay.
He was here to originally start, one of those superstars that came to help us
Yeah.
to set up. Unfortunately, had to leave us for a little, but we're very happy to have Dr. Vivek back with us.
Yeah.
And somebody just WhatsApped me. It's night nurse, not night doctor.
Oh, well, I don't know what I know
See?
the song Night Nurse.
See, there we go.
Listen,
See?
because you know why? Let me tell you.
See, all right. So see,
I'll tell you
I
why
can
I know
admit
it.
when I'm wrong.
You know why I know it? Because I was young. I was young, a young girl, and
What,
every time
2
the
years
song
ago?
came on, you better believe it. Every time the song came on, my mom would be
Turn
mad.
it off or what?
No, my mom would be mad because the song was like somebody sent it out like a request to her husband on the radio.
Okay.
Funny story. Everybody's all 70 now, so
Okay,
it's
so
okay.
it's okay now.
I can
Yeah,
tell the story
yeah,
now,
yeah.
but that's why I know that song. So every time it came on, if he dared turn that radio off, everybody was walking, including the kids.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So no, when you said night doctor, I was like, maybe that's something he knows. I didn't know. I didn't even connect it.
You're a nice nurse.
Somebody set you straight.
Yeah. They're like, what song are you talking about? It's night nurse. I'm like, yes.
Did they tell you about the great physician?
No,
Anybody?
they said they also think they're searching for that one. I also said which artists
Adventist church, you know.
sing.
No,
We'll join
for
in
sure.
the background.
Yeah, singing Night Doctor.
Yeah.
No, thank you. All right, so Dr. Vivek, I'm so sorry that you're in the middle of two cases.
No problem.
this
I'm
afternoon.
enjoying it. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
He's just
I'm not here.
He's enjoying the show.
Yeah.
But we're really here to talk about Health City
Definitely.
and all the amazing things that you guys do and you continue to do for the community. And now you're actually growing. So you have the clinic in Kamana Bay, but you also have you're building a hospital as well, right?
That's correct.
What are we calling that?
So that one will be Health City Kamana Bay.
Okay.
And that, well, for right now, right? But that facility will be 70,000 square feet. We'll actually have.
What's the size? So to give me a point of reference, what's the size facility in East End currently?
So East End is probably about 25% larger than what this one will be. With this facility, however, it's going to be at the entrance to Kamana Bay. So I don't know if persons are familiar with the plans that were already approved with the government, where there's going to be an airport connector road that goes directly from the airport through Sparky Drive and straight around to the entrance, more or less the entrance of Kamana Bay, where that is right now.
And probably the road's going to get fixed then.
Yes. Yes, well, it's
Sparky Drive.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's part of the greater road network plans.
Okay.
And where we're located is right in front of the Cayman International School, CIS, right there in front. So it'll be the entrance more or less.
Coming from the airport.
If you take the airport connector, as well as from the other connector, will be right there.
Okay.
But it's the future plans that they're developing and whatnot. We saw that opportunity of being right there at the front, and we definitely took it in partnership with DART to have the hospital there. And the hospital also have a first LINAC in Indiana. So this is the machine that does radiation for cancer care.
Oh, wow.
So we have the
Because
first
that's
radiotherapy.
missing in
Correct.
Cayman.
So this really was to fill the last existing gaps. And once we put in this machine, once we also have our neonatology intensive care unit, right? Um, Usually, typically across the Caribbean, even in Cayman, they're talking about $1 million babies, right?
Right,
Which
right.
means once you send these young ones to the U.S., it's going to be $1 million at least.
Wow.
So we're going to be able to reduce that cost significantly, and obviously still giving the highest quality of care, which based on all of our actual outcomes, you can actually, it's on our website as well. You can actually compare us to other hospitals, and we have some of the best track record in this side of the Northwestern Hemisphere. And just to say that you won't have to send your babies overseas, everything more or less will be consolidated within here, within the Cayman Islands. So COVID has taught us one thing, in that the more that's available here, obviously, the better for the island. And it to run overseas, and it would have been for oncology, certain areas of oncology, and providing that as well as BMT, bone marrow transplant, as well as CAR T cell therapy, which is one of the top levels of therapy when it comes into these types of disease profiles. We will have everything covered as the Cayman Islands, with Health City being a major part of that as well.
All right. Okay. So, I mean, it all sounds so exciting, and it
Yes.
just sounds just, for us to have all of that available here. I love the whole idea. Obviously, have a very small population, and so outside of even the population being able to be served on that level locally, there must be some opportunities that you're seeing for people to utilize this destination as an option now. Is that correct? Are you thinking about that as well?
Definitely, definitely. So obviously borders will reopen, and when they do, currently we have a long list of people waiting to come in to the Cayman Islands. But we also know that even from a radiotherapy perspective, the cost savings that we'll be able to offer versus the US, anytime we would go to other Caribbean islands, there are three things that we would ask us for next, right? So they love the fact that we're doing what we do from a neurologist standpoint, from a neurosurgery standpoint, from cardiothoracic standpoint, even from pulmonology, and then even as we started to get more patients, regular surgical, general surgical perspective, just based on the quality they were sending us patients. Outside of all of that, the fact that we are going to be able to have radiotherapy, which when you look at the cost of sending somebody overseas, that's one of the highest cost areas when it comes to cancer care. And the fact that we're going to be able to offer it here, there are a lot of persons that say, when are you giving us a radiotherapy center? So we're going to be doing that.
Right.
When are you going to be able to cover the $1 million babies? So we're going to be able to do that. And then there's some niche areas of bone marrow transplant as well that doesn't exist in the Caribbean. Are you ever going to offer that? We're offering it now as well. So when the actual regs get finished for transplant as well, we already have the capabilities. We'll be able to start off with kidney transplant, then liver transplant, and heart transplants. We're just waiting on the laws in the Cayman Islands to get up to speed, which they've been working on it. They've been doing a great job. And they'll get there shortly enough, and then we'll also be able to fill the transplant aspect, which then will also have persons from overseas coming in for that as well.
Okay. All right. So, sorry. So you have the capabilities already.
Correct.
You're just waiting for all of the legalities almost. All right.
For transplants.
Okay. Well, that's good. Now, Dr. Vivek, how does that? I guess this just is understanding that
these choices options available here,
Yeah.
right in the island. So that's going to be a real game changer, real blessing for the people.
And that's something we can be proud of, I think, as a country anyway, right? And be happy about that. And I also know that Health City doesn't turn anyone away. So you kind of make it possible for anyone to get care, regardless if they're paying cash or whatever insurance they might have. That's correct also. Yeah?
Definitely, we work with everybody, and the great thing about the Cayman Islands is that we're blessed that the majority of the population has insurance, but outside of the Cayman Islands as well, a lot of our brothers and sisters in other islands that they may be able to afford a certain amount, but if they were to go to the U.S. or even other places that would be outside of their reach, we make sure that we are able to offer them a price that they can afford for life-saving surgeries or life-changing surgeries, depending on what the ailment is.
Right. And we've had quite a few patients come and give their testimonials and talk about their experience from overseas, and they have American. We've had a couple of American people like literally talk about hospitals in Boston or hospitals in Florida and the difference, as well as New York, I think, and just the difference in how much they had to pay or would have had to pay had they gotten the same procedures or the same care and the level of care that they received. So, it's not just you're selling that. You know what I mean? The proof is in the pudding, for sure. Yeah. So now, Dr. Vivek, I want to ask you about your experience in terms of, you mentioned Alzheimer's. So that's something that's kind of been in the last, 10 years or more? Like, when has that kind of started really it's coming to the fore?
It's been there for a very long time. And earlier it was just thought to be the dementia, the memory loss, which occurs early. So anybody below the age of 60, 65 or below 70, they used to think that's Alzheimer's, and above 70, they used to just consider it to be senile dementia.
Right.
Now, over the time, with all the trials and all the research, they have found out that Alzheimer's is a continuum. It starts from probably in the 60s and it goes on till the late 80s and 90s.
Right.
So it's a disease process. It has a definite pathology. So nowadays we don't just call it senile dementia. We try to see what kind of dementia are we dealing with. So there are the three commonest type of dementias are the Alzheimer's, then the vascular dementia. Those are the dementias which occur due to strokes, bleedings, infarcts in the brain. And the third one is the dementia with Lewy body, diffuse Lewy body disease. So those are the three commonest types. So we try to categorize these senile dementia. Earlier it was just left at that's just related to age. We try to categorize them into these three, which and the treatment modalities differ. So for the Alzheimer's as such, there were few medicines, but they really were not game changers. They just used to add a little bit as a support system. But from what the researchers and last 20 years, nothing else happened. So apart from lifestyle changes, catching the disease early, we could not do much, even if we were catching it early. So now, since these monoclonal antibodies have come up, these are the ones which attaches to the amyloid plaques or amyloid aggregates, which happens in the brain. That's the one which causes the Alzheimer's. So these goes and binds to these amyloid plaques, the monoclonal antibodies, and they're supposed to clear off the amyloid from the brain. So those are the ones which are going to be the real game changer. That's where all the research and money is going in. So this is the first one which is FDA approved. So everybody is quite enthusiastic. But time will be the biggest factor which will tell whether how much it's useful. Still, people feel there is a lot of confusion about when and how it can be used. But still, people feel that in general, the consensus that early Alzheimer's or early dementia, it should help.
Okay. All right. Now, what made you kind of go that route to study, I guess, the whole neurological part of the body?
So like when you are doing your basic medical training, everybody gets interested into some parts of the human body or the physiology, and sometimes some people like the surgical part and some people like the medical part. So for me, the brain itself was so fascinating. Like, and it's such a, it every time you come across a patient dealing when you're dealing with the neurological disorders, we realize that how fascinating the brain is, how intricate the networks are, and we also realize that there is somebody higher up who's in control. So many times when you start feeling like you are next to God, this is the field which brings you down and shows your limitations.
Okay.
So that's what I found it most challenging, because the maximum research to be done has to be in this field, because we have a long way to still go. Many of the other systems we have reached quite a bit of advancements, but still neurology is one field where we have to go a long way.
Yeah.
So that's what fascinated me about it.
Yeah, and things are constantly changing as well.
Definitely, definitely. So every day researches are happening, but still not that much success as what other, and we are getting to know more and more neurological diseases as we have better neuroimaging. Earlier we used to bracket it as one thing, but now we realize that when with good quality MRIs that these are not one diseases, it has opened into a whole Pandora's box of different diseases. So those are the problems which we are facing, and but there is progress definitely.
Right. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but we will be back. We are chatting with the good folk from Health City. This is Medical Mondays. It's brought to you by Health City, and every Monday we talk to someone from Health City. Generally, Shamari Scott comes out. He is the Chief Business Officer. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Or
Right. You
bottle
don't seem,
washer,
you
chief
don't
cook.
seem like you're convinced that that's what it is. So I'll leave you.
I've said it only 500
I will leave
times.
you to figure that one out.
And Dr. Vivek, who is the consultant neurologist.
Correct.
Yes.
What's Dr. Vivek's last name?
Listen to me. I saw Philip Michael. I saw all kinds of stuff. I was going to sing the song John Jacob. I was ready to sing today.
Is that another soca song?
No, it's absolutely not another soca song. You stop with the so go to bathroom. You have to do that. So it's Vivek Jacob Philip. Yes,
Yes, you got it right. You got it right.
I told
K-Mass
you.
is the one
I
that
told you. I
actually
saw
got
it.
the date. K-Mass, not Badaboom.
They got the date.
Yeah, K-Mass.
Yeah.
Got approval to have. Badaboom, they haven't got a date yet.
Really?
No.
It's coming.
So
It's coming. There is
so
no
I can't
way.
have you can't be talking about Badaboom when it's K-Mass.
Well, it's
That-
K-Mass then.
Yeah.
So you're jumping?
Yeah.
You
I
behave.
am of the age now that I can go and jump and
How
not
long
get
you
in
been
trouble.
jumping? You don't think about time?
No, man. No, the interesting thing is being a young professional
Uh-huh.
with a position such as director of tourism. I know how Caymanians are.
Okay.
So I mean, if I jumped at that point, and they'd be like, "See, you can't give him no responsibilities." And blah,
Well,
blah,
you
blah, blah,
must be
blah,
didn't
blah,
get
blah.
the pictures of
So-
our former premier,
Right.
Alden McLaughlin.
But
All the
that's,
pictures
but
of
that's
him.
okay. When you're of a certain age, they don't say that.
They don't care.
So when
Why?
I
Why do you
progressed
think that
and
is?
got more mature,
Why do you think
Right.
that is?
I have jumped for the last 4 years.
Why do you think that is? They don't care anymore? You're looking
No.
a mess?
No, because it's just how society is, right?
Oh, okay.
When you reach that age, then there's nothing to say. But
We'll
if
come
you're
back.
younger,
We're gonna come back and talk about that
Yeah.
because this is when Shamari theorizes. I
Mhm.
got to get to the bottom of it,
Yeah.
honestly, because
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that you get older and gray, and people are like, who cares?
that
And
might
you
be
just
it as
do
well.
whatever you want to do.
That might be
It's
it as
no
well.
more news.
That might be as well.
Okay, but
Yeah.
definitely thanks for clearing up the K-Mass and the Batabanu.
Yeah, but I think
Because to
Badaboom
me-
is coming. I don't know when.
To me, it all sounds the
Yeah,
same.
but
It's
K-Mass
like,
is August 7th, I think.
yeah, excitement.
See?
All right.
You know the
Let's
date,
get-
so that means you jump in too?
I heard about it. I've never jumped.
Really?
Never. But
So then
I will be
now-
taking a break
Now,
because I'm
is
not
the
like
time to
you. I'm
jump.
not like, oh, I'm old. I might as well jump. I'm not
No.
doing that.
Yeah, now is the time.
That's when they'll have pictures.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in this afternoon. I don't know which rails we went off just now, but
If you jump, Dr. Vivek will jump too.
all right, we shall
I'm
see.
still not sure what jump is.
Okay, we will
Okay.
explain that.
Yeah, yeah,
We're going to
okay.
take a quick break.
Quick break.
This
Yeah.
is Straight Talk Drive at 5. We're coming back. We're talking to good people from Health City, and we are talking about all sorts of things. But guess what? We're going to be talking about jumping in a couple of minutes too.
That's
So
right.
stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
Carnival parade.
Okay, so
In
you
the
jump
parade.
into the parade?
You're
Okay.
in the parade. When you're in the parade, it's
Oh,
called
oh,
you're jumping.
Jumping. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so there are two
And welcome back to Straight Talk. This is your Drive at Five show, and this is Catherine Tyson, your host. This is Medical Mondays. We are speaking with Shamari Scott, the Chief Business Officer. I hope that's what you are, because I don't have a piece of paper this
That's okay.
afternoon.
That's okay.
I'm going to read it later and be
you call
like,
me
what
out,
was I calling this
that
man?
is what I will be. That's what I'll be.
And Dr. Vivek,
Yes.
who is the consultant neurologist. And we're calling him a consultant. Why do we call all of your doctors consultants? That's a question I want to know.
So that's what they are.
Okay. So they can
what it
consult
is.
for like a long time. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
they are. They're
All right.
consultants. They're
All right.
consultants, physicians. Same thing.
Okay. All right. So but they're on staff though,
Yeah,
right?
they're all
Yeah.
they're all on staff. They're all on staff.
Okay.
I know you're going to try and get away from it, but over the break, Miss Catherine Tyson just confirmed that she will be jumping in
did not.
KRAS if Dr. Vivek also jumps in KRAS,
Oh, God.
so that we can have the three of us jumping in the same.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't want to do the real thing, I go with the t-shirt man. So
So now
Yeah.
you're telling the truth,
yeah,
because just now I had like people sending me WhatsApps about costumes. Like I just even got
well,
like
you can do that.
I
too.
got a price and
Well,
everything.
that you can do that.
But
too.
now you just told me
You
about
see,
the
you
t-shirt.
see, I'll do the t-shirt. You can do the costume.
I'm not
I
doing
can't do the costume.
any
You
of
can do the
those. I
costume.
thought you were doing the costume.
No,
I thought
do
you
the
were
t-shirt.
cool.
No, do the t-shirt.
For the
T-shirt
4
section.
years.
That's right. T-shirt section.
Oh man.
Don't worry. It's
You're a small fry in this whole thing.
I jumped. Yeah, that's all that matters.
So is it a husband and wife thing too? Your
Yeah,
wife goes
she
with you?
goes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, she was doing that long before me.
Of course,
Right,
well she
yeah.
could.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
amazing. She's beautiful.
Exactly.
She's gorgeous.
Exactly. So
Then she married you, and
then she,
she's still gorgeous
she
and amazing.
dragged me along. But no, I knew eventually hit an age whereby. So it's
I don't buy that still.
no.
But okay.
So what's it? Is it John Maxwell's? 5 levels of leadership. Right?
Okay. Yes.
And,
Okay.
Right. And when you reach the results, the third portion of that
Okay.
pyramid, which is results, and you've proven through your results,
Okay.
then people give you a little bit of leeway, right?
Well, you know.
reached a certain age, once I had results that were proven, once I knew that it would hold me back in my career, yeah, I can do it now.
You can
Wow.
jump.
That's where I am.
Now you
Okay.
can jump.
Yeah.
Now I can
And
jump.
thank you for bringing us back to that, Dr. Vivek, because what the listeners don't know is during the commercial, it took about literally 120 seconds for Dr. Vivek to figure out what is jumping.
Yes.
So now that he knows
And
it's a
you
part of our
agree.
DNA,
Yeah.
we did not. We did not. Unlike Shamari, we have not come to those terms in our life where we realize we can go and jump and people are not going to.
Unless it was pain, people don't know that you two actually agree. So that means you agree.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, I don't. I'll watch you. I'm gonna
No,
watch you
okay.
jump.
Yeah.
But no, it is quite interesting, and it's very funny. We are, kind of just joking around a little bit. But what I love about the whole conversation, I think, is that we are talking to Dr. Vivek, who is the consultant neurologist at Health City, and talking to him about being a part of this culture because, regardless of where you're from,
Yeah.
right? When you come over or when you join, a company or a business, an organization that's in a particular place, then obviously it's not just, I'm here, I'm from India, this is what I do, and this is how we do it. It's no, you're a part of
Yeah.
our community, our culture, and obviously you're serving our people.
Very true. The first time when I came, 2016 here, it was such a big change. It was such a, I was really anxious how it will be, will the people accept? And it was unbelievable. It's still a magic that 2016, those 3 months which I was here, that was my longest stay that time. The way people accepted me and the love, affection is something is it's so unreal, right? And it is the way they showered the love and for the people who are outsiders, it never felt like we were outsiders. So
Right.
it was a blessing, and I still feel blessed to be a part of Health City and to come here.
Yeah.
It's really been an eye opener for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, we also coined a term, Shamari, came in kind. Were you a part of the Department of Tourism and that kind of came around?
That wasn't
That was under
the
you.
team.
Okay.
When we lived there that
Yeah.
time, that came up with the concept, came again, and what it really was us encapsulating the research of what we found on the ground in the Cayman Islands. What's the one thing that ties us all together? What's the one thing when we did the research that our visitors were saying that we were better than? And the number one thing that we were saying was the friendliness of people.
Right.
It's
Right.
the number one reason, time and time again.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The warmth and affection we get is
Yes.
when you just walk into Foster's and the way the people smile at you and the way they give you the shake hands, and it's just
Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
so fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you really do have to have a level of respect for the people because I mean, I work in a lot of situations where I'm frustrated, with unemployment and with upskilling, and so I get frustrated. Like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And but there's a part of me that has to stop, also breathe through it, and respect and appreciate the way of life that we have and that we've had for so long that sometimes people can be moving a little slower, you know what I mean? Not kind of keeping up with the rat race because we live in a beautiful, tropical island where, we were fishing for a living and we can go to our neighbor or our neighbor will bring us a breadfruit and that will be dinner. You know what I mean? So I think like it really is, it's so good to hear you say that because it just allows us to really look at the people that we're surrounded by and understand them, right? And how easy and I think innocent in a way, right? How innocent and easy they can be to accept just people from other places and love you, right? And appreciate what you're doing for them because that's huge. That's huge, and I think we all, any of us who have had any connections with our grandparents, that's what we were taught. We were taught, to take a piece of watermelon down the street for Pastor so and so or for Doctor so and so. He has 4 children, take enough so he can feed, give his children. And it's still the same way, even in 2021. And I'm very proud to say that we continue to do that. So I'm happy that you felt that way because that's exactly
Absolutely,
what this
absolutely.
country is about. Yeah. And even though we could spend time talking about what's wrong, that's something that's definitely right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in terms of that, then I'll ask you, um, what is it, was that a very similar thing from from your community or in India, your they're a little more kind of hold back a little bit.
Yeah, we Indians mostly a little shy community. So even though when we interact, there will be a little bit of reserved kind of feeling, and they will take time to open up. Um, but here it's like immediate.
We're
You
very
see that, yeah,
trusting. Yes.
the glow on the face is and the smile says it all. Like,
Yeah.
so for us, initially we are a little reserved, then we open up.
Yeah.
That's how it was, and so it's and we are also learning the chocolates to each port. Like
Right.
everybody is going through stress. I'm sure the people here are going through a lot of stress, but it doesn't show on their face. When you see
Right.
them, when they wish you, it's just that big broad smile, and that makes your day. And the
Absolutely. Yeah.
sunshine. That's how.
Yeah, and I think that that's kind of what makes your life a little bit easier too when you kind of approach life from that standpoint because you really can go kicking rocks every day if you want, but where's that going to get you? Probably a
Exactly.
stubbed toe,
Mhm.
So absolutely, and I think yeah, we really do appreciate just everything. I think when we do talk to Health City on Mondays, to really just appreciate the expertise, the level of expertise that's being brought into this country and the type of work that you're accustomed to doing. So it's almost like, uh, it's safe for me to say, I think that it's a breeze in a sense because if you're accustomed to, dealing with, the numbers that you're accustomed to dealing with, and then you come here and the population is probably the size of what one, maybe one place in India, right? Yeah.
Like here it's 65,000.
Yeah.
65,000. That's
Right.
like even the Bangalore where the main Dr. Shetty's hospital is. That's one of the small areas has more population than that. So,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
And the good thing with you saying that, Catherine, is when you have somebody like Dr. Vivek, who has seen so many patients, such a wide array of patients, when you come to these populations like this, if you had a physician that wouldn't necessarily have seen all of the different elements, it may take more time to figure out specific ailments. But because he's seen so many, then he
Right.
can identify it quicker
Exactly.
than somebody else who potentially wouldn't have had the level of expertise in regards to the breadth and depth
Of
of
course.
different cases as well as many different ailments coming to him within the neurologist suite.
Of course, absolutely. And in saying that too, I want to encourage the listeners to go and look up Surgeon's Cut on Netflix and see, the kind of the beginning of Dr. Shetty's story. It's really impressive.
Mhm.
It's it really it just allows you to kind of see inside of a man's life. I think what his life's work is, right, and what he wanted to bring to people's lives, and to bring that on this level, to have this in our community, but to also bring people like yourself, Dr. Vivek,
Yeah.
who are I would think have the same ethos,
Yeah.
right, of really helping people and just being available to help, and because it happens to be our community, we have to appreciate that for real,
His life has been an inspiration for all of us. Like I've been in the Dr. Shetty's hospital for the last 10 years, and yeah, every minute, the ethics, the ethos of the institution is what we motivates us to do better and to be better human beings.
Right.
That's important, and that's what it helps us. So this journey of 10 years, I've learned that from him and from all the people close to him. Yeah.
Yeah. How often does Dr. Shetty get back
prior,
here?
prior to COVID, he would come at least once a year
Okay.
because obviously it's a long track, and he's still practicing, right? So it's not like he is the founder and CEO and that's what he does.
He sees about 100 patients a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
100 patients a
Wow.
day.
And where is he practicing then?
In Bangalore.
In Bangalore.
Oh, yeah.
And at his
That's where-
hospital as
Yeah,
well?
that's where we. So there are a chain of hospitals. So the main center where it all started was Bangalore.
Okay.
So that's where we are working, and that's where he is.
Okay.
So
And just to bring it back to Kamana Bay, so we're at Kamana Bay. We offer urology, cardiology, neurology, pulmonology, lungs, gynecology, right? Which we need to bring Dr. Pooja in here. I can't remember if she's coming.
She's come. Yes.
Okay, but we need to bring her back just to remind everybody that she's within your reach, right here in town
Absolutely.
as well.
And she's amazing.
Gastro, and then we have internal medicine as well as medical oncology for cancer care. So those are the
Okay.
areas that we're offering at Kamana Bay. And I just want to read you one comment that was posted to our ad about Kamana Bay.
Okay.
And there's a young lady here that says, we went here last week for the first time in Kamana Bay. The service is fantastic and the doctor was very helpful. I definitely recommend Health City. Oh, exclamation point. So I definitely recommend Health City. All right, you gotta read it with emphasis, right?
Right.
Okay.
Or did you miss that?
Yeah, I missed that. When Matthias was listening, like, never said that to me. Right? My daughter had a shoulder surgery, and the surgeon was in one word, amazing. After the surgery, their follow-up was also just as fantastic. Thank you, Health City, and your wonderful team for everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that is an actual person, and that's
Correct.
what matters, not just the people that are working there and selling it, but the
Correct.
people that are attending. And I really have to say, like, and I also recommended the executive health check. I have to get
Yes.
in contact with you because I got
Yes.
3 more people.
Oh,
Listen, I needed a
Oh.
little cut now.
yeah. No cuts. No
Stop
cuts.
it.
The cuts we can do is train you
Okay.
to make cuts.
So, but yeah, so I have 3 more that I want to put. But my daughter actually went, and she also, I mean, she is raving. You need to do a commercial just with her alone. Like, she is just,
Definitely.
she could not believe it. She just thought everything was so professional from start to finish. And she said she was like in certain places. I think she went with her boyfriend, so it was the 2 of them, and they were seeing different people at different times because some of the things that she did he wasn't doing because they cater to the gender or whatever. And she said the people just kept finding her, and she was like, how does he know I'm here? How does this person know I'm here? But it was so, just like it just flowed, and it was so many. It was quite a few people. She said it was maybe 15, and everybody was just moving along. It was such an organized system, and I felt the same way.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
I mirror that comment that you just read, and I think I can't say enough about it because it's so important when you do have to look about your health. You're already in a situation where you want to find out something, whatever it is. It could just be a regular check. It could be something's actually wrong. No one, it doesn't have to be anything in particular, but you do want it to be easy. You want it to be as simple as possible, and you want the people that are the professionals to handle you with care. And I think that is something that I was very impressed, about just going to Health City. So I must say that area is really, top notch from start to finish, from the time you check in until you leave, up to the free breakfast.
There we go.
Because that was a part of it too. You get like a ticket for breakfast.
That's right.
Yes. So definitely. So now within your reach, you're coming to Kamana Bay.
Yes.
You're actually at Kamana Bay already with a
Correct.
clinic available on Saturdays and Sundays.
That's right. Extended hours during the week as well till 7.
Okay. And so your hours during the week start at what time?
11 o'clock.
Till 7.
11
but
to
we have
7.
our PCR testing for COVID for those people that want to travel and need the negative PCR from 9 till 11.
Oh, okay.
Right here at Kamana Bay. So I mean, obviously we do that at Health City as well in East End, but right here at Kamana Bay for convenience for the people that are on the side. And if it's not a rush, we get back the results in 24 hours. If it is a rush, we can give it back to you same day.
Oh, that's great. Okay. And if someone needed to make an appointment for anything, so
info at healthcity.ky, you just outline the fact that you want to go to our Kamana Bay location, or if you're in the BRAC, you want to go see the doctor at the BRAC.
Okay.
And we will work that out for you.
So let me ask you then, Shamari, what's the difference um, attending the clinic versus attending the hospital in East End? There's no difference. Pretty much.
If you're coming for a regular just consultation or one of the follow-ups. Now, obviously, we have certain levels of diagnostic equipment at East End that if after you come and see us and we're like,
Yeah.
we might actually need to do a little bit more than what we have here, then we will obviously send you up to the East End campus. But for the most part, if you come in and all is good, then all is good.
Okay.
But persons usually just can't get the time to see the doctor.
Right.
So if we make it convenient that you see us and then we're like, hey, we actually need to just see a little bit more, then more times than not, people are more willing to say, all right, well, yeah,
Okay.
I've seen the doctor. I can make not the trek, because it's only half an hour
Okay.
up the road to East End.
And it's
And it's
beautiful.
beautiful. Seeing the
It's
scene
just
on your right-hand
knocking off
side.
all of the stress
Yeah.
off your body by the time you turn
Wind
in
down your
there.
windows.
By the time you make that left across from the blowholes area
right.
there.
Lover's Wall. We're
Yeah.
right there by Lover's Wall.
Time you make that left, you forgot about town
Exactly.
and all the madness you might have faced on the way up, all of the roundabouts and the
Yeah.
road rage.
And there's no
beautiful.
traffic coming our way.
Right.
So even in the evening when I have to go home, I'm passing all the traffic.
Right.
Going up in the morning, I'm passing all the traffic.
Yeah.
So I get the angry horn beeps from
And you're
people
like,
I know, and you're like,
"Calm
I see you bobbing your head. What are you listening to?
I'm mad. I'm sitting here
Yeah,
in
I'm like,
traffic.
hey,
Yeah, no, traffic is something too, because even like leaving after this show, it's
Mhm.
still traffic out there, like 6 o'clock. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's something. So now with Kamana Bay coming online, then obviously the clinic then would your follow-ups would be at Kamana Bay, so
Right,
you
the
won't
ones
have
that you
to.
don't
Okay.
need specific diagnostic equipment. So if you were to have a surgery and you would need to see over whatever 3, 4, 5 month period, the doctor, let's say 7 times. 4 of those times you may not actually necessarily need to be in the East End campus.
Okay.
So you can see the doctor when he's in Kamana Bay, and we schedule it that way so that you minimize the time you need to come to East End. And obviously those that live in the Eastern districts, it's more convenient to come to East End, so you'll see
Okay.
us in East End.
All right. Will you also have, I think, is it places for people to stay? And when the Kamana Bay one comes as well, because I think you have residences in East End as well.
Right, but that one is truly for your medical tourists, because
Okay.
if you are local and you need to stay in the hospital, you will be in the hospital.
Right. Right.
And when you're discharged, you go
You
home.
go home.
Right.
Right.
The difference is when you have international patients, and even though they can medically be discharged from a hospital setting, they still need rehab and
Right.
such, so they will be in a place
Convenience.
that's close, right?
Right.
So that's why we have those facilities there.
Right.
Yeah.
It kind of mirrors like Baptist Hospital in the
Correct.
States. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. But that will be the case in Kamana Bay as well.
Kamana Bay, that we will
necessarily.
probably work with other entities just based on the types of procedures that we'll be doing there. We will not need to build specific residences, but we'll work with areas close in the times that we need those.
Okay.
As well as if somebody needed surgery and extended stays, they can always come up at these.
All right. Okay. And so, Dr. Vivek, then how often are you at Kamana Bay if somebody wanted to see you specifically?
Yeah, so 3 days a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Okay.
and and Dr. Romnesh the other days. So
Okay.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays.
Okay. All
So
right.
that's
So I have to
okay.
make.
Got you
I'm making an appointment. I have to go see Dr. Ramesh. Don't want to see me.
covered. You sure it's not you sure it wasn't Dr. Ramesh? It was like, don't come see me.
It
go see
was
Morgan.